Hey guys, welcome back to the First Methodist Shreveport podcast. I am here with Emily Jo Manchester Sanden, Executive Director of the Renesting Project here in Shreveport.
In Bossier.
In Bossier. Okay,
Bossier.
never mind. You're in Bossier.
We serve the 9 parishes in Northwest Louisiana, but we are located in Bossier.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was all 9 parishes.
Yes.
That's impressive.
I can't list them. I don't know them by heart, but I have it written on the wall in my office. So
It's always stunning whenever someone can list the parishes between Shreveport and Ruston.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I can name like 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
So we've all gone past those signs so many times, but no, everyone's like Webster's in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's Webster and Lincoln, Red River. Yeah, I know a few, but I couldn't tell you where.
No,
No.
not at all. So how did you get to be executive director?
So when I was studying for my master's, I was a grad assistant at LSUS working on a master's in nonprofit administration. My advisor got an email from our founder and previous executive director, Noelle Hacker. She was looking for a volunteer or an intern to help with some data entry, some research, some just office help. And my advisor was like, hey, we'll let you do your grad assistant hours over at Renesting, and it'll count towards your credential as a certified nonprofit professional. So I started doing that about 6 to 8 hours a week for like 6 months, and I just loved it and never left.
Really?
Yeah, so I started as this intern for a little while, and then when I graduated with my master's, I kept volunteering for a little bit, and then Noelle hired me to do the same thing that I was doing as an intern with a few more hours. And then eventually I don't know, I had like 3 or 4 different roles. I was the assistant executive director for a while. And then when my predecessor left last fall, I was offered the executive director role, and I was very happy to take it.
Oh, nice.
So it's been a 5-year journey from intern to ED.
And so was it like just the community of what Renesting
I think
is?
it was the unique mission and the incredibly rare opportunity to come straight from my education to the field that I was wanting to be in. I had brief periods where I tried to find full-time work somewhere else, because at the time I was just at Renesting part-time, and I needed more money, rent and bills, adult things.
Yeah.
So I was looking for other full-time work, and it just wasn't as fulfilling or interesting, honestly. And I was very lucky that my husband was able to kind of float us financially while I was in between full-time and working at Renesting part-time. And now I'm full-time at Renesting, so it's literally the dream.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And so can you tell us about Renesting?
Renesting is a nonprofit community furniture bank located in Bossier City. We serve like I mentioned, the 9 parishes of Region 7 in Northwest Louisiana. Our mission is to gather gently used furniture and household items and then redistribute them to those in need here in Northwest Louisiana.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty
Sounds
unique,
like you've
right?
said that a few times.
Just a few. That's kind of the elevator speech. I will say that some of the stuff that gets left out of that elevator speech I think is really interesting. We work with over 60 partner agencies, including First Methodist Shreveport. That's where our clients come from. We are a very small staff. We have 2 full-time members, including myself, and 1 part-time staff member. Everyone else is a volunteer.
Really?
So all of the items that come in and go out to our clients are handled by our volunteers. We need them desperately. They really are the lifeblood of our organization. But because we're such a small staff, we don't really have the capacity to be doing outreach, to verify client identity, to verify client need. So we work with these different community partners that are already doing outreach, already working with the populations that are in need of our services. And so we work with them, and they refer their clients to us, and we work together to get the clients' furniture and household items at no charge to them.
Wow, that's incredible. So
Thanks.
the people who get the furniture are within those 7 parishes.
9 parishes.
9 parishes.
Region 7, 9 parishes.
Okay, Region 7, 9
it's
parishes.
confusing.
And so it doesn't matter where someone lives within those 9 parishes. You serve all of those people, and the hub, I'm assuming, is located in Bossier?
Correct. Our warehouse is located in Bossier. That is where it is our we say warehouse, and that always makes it sound like we have more than one building. We just have the one building.
Yeah.
But it's our office. We call it the Nest. So that's where donors can drop off. It's where volunteers will spend their time. It's where we work. everything happens out of that little 6,500 square foot building.
6,500 square feet to serve
Yes.
9 parishes.
I will say that the 9 parishes is a relatively recent development.
Okay.
Since we were founded by Noel Hacker in 2010, 2010. Sorry, I don't know why I said that so weird. 2010. And we served just Bossier and Caddo. Late in 2022, we expanded our geographical service area to include those parishes. So we don't have quite a foundation of partner agencies in those parishes just yet. We're working on growing into them.
Okay.
So before, where someone living in those parishes would disqualify them for service, now we're able to serve them. But we still don't have the numbers outside of Bossier and Caddo like we do.
Yeah. So how does that expansion happen? Like, how do y'all grow the area you serve?
So the first step was letting our current case managers know, or like our current partner agencies, hey, if you have clients that are in these parishes, they are now eligible for services. And that was, we had a few trickle in that had previously been unable to be served. And then we've done, we've added new partners that serve. So there's different, I'm trying to think, like the VA hospital is one of our partners,
Yeah.
Overton Brooks. They obviously have patients that are coming from all over Northwest Louisiana. So now it's just a little bit, now that they have that knowledge, that was our first step, is just letting our current partners know this is what we're doing. If you have other agencies or coworkers, if there's another VA hospital in this parish or that parish, let them know. And we're slowly working on reaching out to different nonprofits and different community service agencies in those parishes to kind of let them know what we're doing and how they can work with us and
Yeah.
get their clients the services they need.
Man, so how long has Renesting been around?
So we were founded by Noel Hacker. She had the idea for Renesting late 2009, and we served our first family in January 2010.
Goodness. So it's not that long, or it's not that old of a...
It's not. And we're in our teenage years. We're growing. It's a little painful.
Yeah?
It's a little like we have big ideas, but we're just kind of on the threshold of like, well, we kind of have to make big leaps to kind of grow the way that we want to. And as a new executive director, I'm really, on one hand, very excited to make these big leaps and do these big things and make these big changes and improve our services. But on the other, I'm still kind of learning the ropes, and I'm like, oh, I can't make too many big changes all at once. It's been a lot of fun, sometimes stressful though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So what was the vision for the Renesting Project whenever it was founded?
I don't want to speak for Noelle, but from what I've heard when she's told the story over and over again, it's a great story. That was not meant to be rude. It's a great story to hear over and over. She is was an interior designer by trade. That's what she did. She had a business, and she knew she wanted to do more, but wasn't sure exactly what. And when she tells the story, she was in the shower, and she said it just came to her. God let her know, reclaim, renew, renest. She's going to provide furniture and household items to those in need. Because there's so many service agencies in this area that are helping provide housing or helping get people into housing. But once they're there, they don't have anything.
Yeah.
So that's where we step in to provide the items they need to turn this essentially a kennel with 4 walls into a space where they can thrive and pick themselves up from whatever situation it is that they were in.
That's so great, because I can draw a little bit on my newlywed experience whenever I was 23 years old, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with my wife. I was living there before she was, and it was the exact situation you're talking about, where just graduated from college, didn't have anything to call my own. We had a bed that I had in our bedroom on the floor. We had a microwave.
Yeah.
And that was it. And so it was just so strange coming home before we moved in together, like before we were married and in the apartment together. I was just going there by myself every day to an empty apartment, like with a bed on the floor.
Yeah.
And then what was really amazing was that we had a friend who on our honeymoon did essentially what you did. Like they went around and picked up, like, I don't know if they got couches off the side of the road or what, but whenever we came back from our honeymoon, like our place like had a couch and a table and like a rug and all these things that you take for granted whenever you're in a home that you just don't have the money to get whenever you're on your own or recovering from a homeless situation.
Right.
And it's just one of those things that you really don't understand until you don't have it and you don't have the money for it.
I just think when I walk into my house, I set my bag and my keys down on my dining room table. If I've taken trash out of my car, I throw it away in a trash can.
Yeah.
Like, think about what would you do with your trash in your house if you didn't have a kitchen trash can or even a bathroom trash can.
And how expensive are trash cans right now? It is ridiculous.
It's unreal. And that's something that's on our top 10 needs list a lot of times. I just, I think about all the little things that I'm using in my house from the moment I get home until the moment that I wake up to go to work the next morning. And those are items that the majority of our clients just don't have.
Yeah.
Some of the people we're serving have some things and they just need help with the major items like beds and dining tables and sofas. A lot of the clients we're serving, though, don't have anything. They have a trash bag of clothes, maybe some canned goods that they got from a soup kitchen or something, but they don't have a can opener and they don't have any pots. So really, I love what we do.
Yeah.
It's great to, for instance, go on site visits and meet with clients and their case managers and be like, tell me what you want in this home. Tell me your vision. Like, I can't promise you that I can get you everything that you're requesting, but we're going to do our very best. And the more you tell me about what you want, the better we can do.
Yeah. Have you ever had anyone lay out a home living magazine or Chip and Joanna Gaines? This is
I
it.
haven't, but
Farmhouse chic, go for it.
There's some clients that find it a little bit easier to ask for help and a little bit easier to tell us what they're picturing. But there are some clients that find it really difficult. And they're just like, whatever you have. And I'm like, it's okay to be selfish in this moment. We're going to do our best. We can say no, and we have to sometimes when our inventory's low, but the truth is that if we have it, we want it to go to a client. And if we don't know they want it, then we can't give it to them. So our application process is something that's evolved with us. It used to just be kind of a checklist and your name and address. And now we've kind of evolved to ask about your favorite colors and if your children have favorite TV shows. And we can't promise that we're going to be able to do those things and fulfill those wishes. But it's something that when I'm speaking with case managers that are newly partnered with us, it's my favorite thing to go over. It's like, I want you and your client to sit down and spend a lot of time on this wish list because this is the only information that we have about what your client is picturing. And we're going to, do our best and make assumptions about maybe what they like or what they want if you don't tell us. And if we're wrong, we're wrong. There's not a come back and get a redo. We're going to send what we have and we're going to do our best. But it's super fun when we have clients that all of our clients are special and amazing and we're always so happy to help them. But it's always a bit more fun when clients can tell us this is what I really want. Here are my hobbies. Do you have a blender? Do you have a KitchenAid? And being able to get those things to them is super fun. We recently did a Renest, which is where we not only deliver the furniture to the client, but send a team of volunteers to set everything up in their home. So we'll hang pictures and make their bed and we'll haul away the box that the mattress came in and that kind of thing. And this little boy was just so excited about his new comforter and he got a little rocking chair and he had a lamp. He was taking pictures of every single thing that was placed in his room and running out and showing his mom. It was precious.
Wow.
And it's those moments, those experiences in this job where I'm like, okay, yeah, it's worth it. If I'm stressed today, if I accidentally work 60 hours instead of the 40, it's okay. Because that little boy is going to be so much happier. And he has a place to sleep that's not an air mattress. And he has an actual blanket, not a sheet that he wraps around him twice. It's just thinking about his quality of life and the quality of life of his older sister and his mom. Not just him, but it makes it all worthwhile, even if I'm exhausted at the end of the day.
And I'm sure you are. So
sometimes.
Who is the clientele that y'all serve?
So to qualify for our services, you cannot have the ability to get the furniture that you're requesting on your own, and you can't already have the items that you're requesting. It is kind of a broad statement, but there's so many different situations that lead a person to being in need of furniture. We have served victims of domestic violence. We have served elderly people that were in a care home and, their family or whatever, they don't have their belongings anymore. They're moving out of that facility. They don't have anything. We serve young people that are aging out of foster care. We serve veterans that have been homeless. We serve people that were were in prison and are now on their way out. We have served just extremely diverse, a little bit of everybody, honestly, in this community. Because there are just so many different scenarios that lead a person to being in need, and who are we to judge, you know?
Yeah. I remember we talked to Lee Jeter with the Florida Center for Housing, and he said that y'all are one of the people who really makes the dream come true for those new homeowners.
I personally love Lee Jeter. He is one of the nicest people. We have worked with the Fuller Center for a very long time. Before I ever started working at Renesting, he was one of those people that Noelle told me, like, yeah, he's a great case manager. He's going to make sure that he gets his stuff done right. So I know when they did the vet build a couple years ago, we helped furnish those homes. Whenever they finish a build, we get applications for those clients and we help furnish the homes. I also know that occasionally when people donate things to us that we can't use, we will donate it to their surplus store. So
Okay.
we partner in a few different ways. But he's great.
He is truly the salt of the earth.
Yeah.
And so the application process, what does that look like?
It is a 4-page document, 3 pages that the case manager and the client application fill out. The first is the eligibility requirements. So the case manager provides to us signed statements that they know the client's situation, that they are eligible for our services. The second page is demographic information, genders, ages, the addresses of where we're serving. There's what we call a triage box. So one of the worst parts of my job is when our inventory is low, we have to make decisions about which family we're serving that day gets the one sofa that we have in the warehouse. And the fairest way that Noelle, because it's a triage box that's existed before I started working there, that Noelle came up with is 7 statements that the more that are true about the client, the higher the priority that family would be. Now, that's not to say that if we're serving 2 families in a day and one is a priority 3 and the other is a priority 1, that priority 1 family won't get a sofa. It just means that instead of a sofa, they might get 2 upholstered chairs, kind of like this, or maybe a love seat instead of the sofa that they're asking for. We get very creative with our inventory, and we're always going to do our best to provide as much as we can. But when our inventory is low, we kind of have to shuffle things around. But that triage box is on the second page. And then the final page is the wish list. And that is a list of the things that we generally have in inventory. And then like an other section where they can fill in their favorite colors and the TV shows that their kids like, or the books and the art styles and things like that. And the final page is just a working page that lets them know if they request an eating kit, well, what comes in an eating kit? Because that's such a specific thing to us. So it's kind of just a legend that they use to, if you need silverware, that comes in an eating kit, so you can request an eating kit. Or if you need bath linens, here's what comes in a bath linens kit, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then case managers will submit them to us via fax or email. They get approved, assigned a case number, and then they schedule service on our website.
Nice.
It's a very organized process.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I cannot take credit for creating those systems. Noelle did a fantastic job of setting up a lot of the systems that we use in the warehouse, and we've just tweaked them as we've grown a little bit. But at their core, she really did a fantastic job.
That is amazing. And so, do you have I love the dreams, or what do you say? The dream section? Or
the like wish list.
Yes,
Yeah.
the wish list. Do you have like a specific home? Do you remember that like you literally made dreams come true with this house?
I don't know, because like I said, so many clients are hesitant to get really detailed about what they want. The best is when the children are present for the site visit, because kids don't have this like shame or selfishness that they're afraid of. And so we had this little girl that just told us how much she loves mermaids and the color purple, and she was just going on and on about it. And it was precious. It was a very tiny apartment. Her and mom were actually sharing a bed, and we were able to get a purple comforter, and little miracle, we had a handmade mermaid blanket donated that week.
Wow.
So it was the kind where you like slide it on you and it looks like a tail. And it was a child-sized one, and it was just so precious to provide that to her, and just like she was so excited.
Man.
So it's little things like that. We can't always, if they request a green couch and we only have a blue one in the warehouse, there's nothing we can do about that. But things like that, we call them God winks.
Yeah.
When little things like that happen. And And like the little boy just being so excited. It's stuff like that. Or when we're completely out of blenders and we have an application come in where she's like, I'm trying to do a juice cleanse. I really want a blender. And we're like, oh, well, we can't recommend a juice cleanse, but here's a blender that got donated the day before your service. So things like that are just one of my favorite parts of the job for sure.
That's awesome. And so the eating kits?
Yeah, so we, in an effort to keep the non-furniture parts of the warehouse organized, every shelf is organized into a kit. So there's kitchen miscellaneous, cooking, prep, eating, and drinking. And each of those kits have a list of items that go into them. So each shelf is labeled with the items. So there's dinner plates, salad plates, bowls, and like serveware. And then silverware, salt and pepper shakers, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something else, but that way when our volunteers are packing kits, they know exactly what goes in them. Everything's labeled so they can pull it right off the shelf, pack it, it's ready for a client. And because our clients have that legend when they're filling out their wish list, they know exactly what they're getting. And there's these bright neon labels on every kit. So it's super easy to stay organized in the warehouse. And then we kind of have a bonus section in each kit of things that like, well, it's not on the list for this kit, but it makes sense. But we don't get them donated often enough to kind of warrant like toothbrush holders in our personal hygiene kit. Like we don't get a lot of toothbrush holders donated, but if we get them, we're going to send it, send it to a client. Just like random stuff like that. But we do bed and bath linen kits, the different kitchen kits, personal hygiene, laundry, and then a cleaning kit. Cleaning kits are packed in kitchen trash cans, which we're almost always out of. Laundry kits are packed in laundry baskets, and personal hygiene kits are normally packed in like little ditty bags or Ziplocs if we're out of ditty bags.
Nice.
So a little bit of everything. Truly, we like to joke that we provide things as minor as like the notepads and pens in your junk drawer to things as major as your bed frame and your mattress. So a little bit of everything in between.
Yeah. And so the volunteers, you've mentioned a lot, and you said y'all only have 2 people on staff?
Yes, so myself and 2 other people, a program assistant and a warehouse coordinator. The program assistant is helping with client applications, scheduling, contacting case managers, and our warehouse coordinator inventories and cleans furniture and does kind of all the sweaty, grimy stuff out in the unconditioned warehouse, air-conditioned warehouse. Yeah, it's been a tough few months this summer. Yeah. But everyone else is a volunteer. So our volunteers do everything from helping clean an inventory or make minor repairs to furniture, sorting and cleaning incoming donations, packing kits. When we do renests, volunteers will go out and do those. Just keeping our warehouse tidy is a full-time job that our volunteers help us with. It is a big space. So yeah, we desperately need volunteers. One of the biggest volunteer needs that we have is on Wednesdays, we have a box truck and we will go out to our donors' homes to pick up furniture that they want to donate but aren't able to get to our warehouse. That is our warehouse coordinator's job. He schedules and goes out, but he needs help lifting. Obviously, moving a couch is not a one-man job.
No.
But we don't always have a volunteer that's available on a Wednesday or a second and fourth Saturday. So that is something that we have struggled with repeatedly to try and get someone regular or a team of people that can kind of swap out every week. Oftentimes it'll be myself or our program assistant going, which just kind of creates a backlog of paperwork because then that's the day that we're out of the office. But that would be one of the things that we desperately need the most is a volunteer with a strong back on Wednesdays that could move some dressers and couches and dining tables and doesn't mind getting a little sweaty.
Are there opportunities for, I forget what they're called, like work hours or something for high schoolers? We
will provide any documentation that any person needs for any kind of service hours. We will provide it right. or sign what they have. We love that. We love big groups of volunteers. We love special work days. We've got a Girl Scout troop coming in a couple months that's going to come do some service hours. We often have churches. We got a couple banks that are doing, I think there's some bank holidays coming up in October. And so their staff, instead of taking the day off, is going to come and volunteer on that Monday, which I just love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're always interested.
How
and
did
new
that get started? A
volunteers.
bank taking a holiday to go work at the...
I have no idea. I don't know if they just randomly found our website or what it was, but I got an email that was like, "Hey, I've got 10 people that want to volunteer on Labor Day," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
It's like I wasn't gonna take it off anyway, so yeah, come on. There's
Oh,
always something to
goodness.
do with the warehouse for sure. Even if it's just sweeping our concrete floor, like there's always work to be done in that building.
And so you said to get furniture to y'all's warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
there's a person who goes with a box truck to pick up the
Yes.
furniture?
You're always welcome to drop off donations on the days and times that we're open, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 to 5, and the second and fourth Saturday of every month from 10 to 2 p.m.
Okay.
But if you have 2 or more pieces of furniture that will not fit in your vehicle, we do have a box truck. We do charge a fee for that service to cover the diesel and the maintenance and the manpower.
Yeah.
So it's a $35 fee, but our staff and volunteers will come and pick up the furniture as long as it's not upstairs and as long as it's clean. There's a few other rules, but you can just do the request on our website, pay the little fee, and we'll come out on a Wednesday or one of those Saturdays and pick up.
Okay. It's a great alternative to Facebook Marketplace. Give it to someone who actually
Yes.
needs it.
Don't worry about the scammers on Facebook Marketplace. Just bring it to us. We need it.
Yes.
Desperately.
And so the volunteers, definitely a big aspect y'all need. And you said the partnership with First Methodist is mostly through sending people who need renesting?
We do a little bit. I think First Methodist was one of our first community partners, if my memory serves me correctly. So we have served people that y'all are helping. And then I know that we also apply for your grants every year. And then I also know that whenever we have just a random need, I know back in April for Easter, we were serving 2 huge families. We had a family of 9 and a family of 6 that we were serving Easter weekend, and we didn't have enough beds and we didn't have enough pillows. And so I reached out, and Michelle Osborne was able to get she literally made a Walmart order, and we went and picked it up. It was some twin mattresses and some pillows and a bunk bed frame because there were more children than there were bedrooms, so we had to kind of figure out how to get enough beds in there so that everyone could sleep. But it was hard for those kids to share twins, so bunk beds were kind of the solution. That was one of the best renests that we've ever done, was that family of 8, at least in my experience. The renest that I've been on. Our board president put together Easter baskets for each of the kids, and they were just so excited. The mom had to work, so she wasn't there. Her 18-year-old son let us in. So she got off of work and came home to a completely furnished apartment, started bawling. Everybody else was starting to bawl, and it was just, she walked into every room and was just shocked to her core of what we were able to provide for her and her kids. She had been living in her car. So this was in April. She'd been living in her car with her children since August, staying in some hotels when she had some spare money. She was able to stay with some family, but her and all those children took up a lot of space, so family wasn't always as receptive to having them stay there for longer periods of time. She had come from California escaping a domestic violence situation, and just knowing that she had just gotten this apartment, she hadn't been able to stay in it because there was nothing in it. It was just an amazing experience, honestly.
Golly. And so 6 kids? Or
7 children and her, I believe.
Ooh, wow.
I believe. This was a family of 8 and a family of 6 that we served that weekend. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah. I'll have to find the pictures from that renest. It was super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, Michelle.
Yeah. She has been a Renesting cheerleader for as long as I've known her. Yeah. I met her through Renesting, so I guess, yeah.
Nice.
And that's not the only time that she's done that either. First Methodist has repeatedly done stuff like that for us when we're low on stuff. You guys have been great.
Well, good. I'm glad. I mean, it sounds like an amazing ministry to work with for sure.
I love it.
And so what's the dream moving forward for the Renesting Project?
Oof. I've got a lot of dreams right now, especially as I mentioned, as a new ED, I have a lot of big plans, but I would love, I want to grow more, like we mentioned, into those parishes, because I know that some of the more rural ones don't have as such an agency presence as we do here in Shreveport Bossier. I want I want to grow to 5 staff in the next 5 years. That's my 5 years. That's my goal. I don't know how realistic that is,
Ooh.
but I am working on it. I want to diversify our fundraising, which I think is a pretty normal goal for most nonprofits to have. And I want to grow our volunteer base. That's something that I work on every day. So something that, like, doing something like this and just begging for volunteers is definitely something that I try to do a lot. Beg on Facebook and on TikTok, which I'm not very good at, but my younger staff is helping me with.
I'm sure.
Our warehouse coordinator is 22. He's the best. He has all these ideas for different TikToks. I'm like, just do it. Just film it. I don't even care. just don't make me say something silly online. But definitely volunteers. I'd love to be open more than 2 days a week, but that's also like correlates to having more staff. So we're working on a few big things, but right now, like I said, I'm still kind of learning the ropes.
Yeah. So, or like, when you say open 2 days a week, what does that mean?
So we are open for donations and for volunteers just on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
Staff is there working or doing pickups Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we don't have the volunteer base to be open more than that. Our volunteers are 99% retirees, so they're able to be there during a work day. I'd love to maybe just during the summer be open more for like not school groups because kids are out, but for youth groups. We have had, that's another way that we've worked with First Methodist, y'all's Mission Week a couple months ago. We had, I think they were 5th graders, came and volunteered for a few hours, got a ton of work done. Michelle, or First Methodist, purchased a ton of trash bags because we were out for our clients. And those kids bundled trash bags for, I think, 3 hours. And now we have enough trash bag bundles to last us until next year, well into next year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super fun. Those kids oh man, it was so fun. It was exhausting. We went home after, but it was a lot of fun. So stuff like that, I'd love to grow our volunteer base in that way, because a lot of those kids went home and told their parents about what they had done. And then we had their parents come by the next few weeks and like, hey, you know, my daughter or my son told me about this, and I had this lamp that I'm not using anymore, and I thought you guys could use it. Or I had, you know, XYZ, this set of dishes. So I need more people in the building because that's the best way for people to understand kind of what we do and the scope of what we do, is for them to see the warehouse and see the shelves that are labeled and organized and see what we're missing. You know, there's this huge bottom shelf that's supposed to be full of dining tables, and right now we have 3, but 2 weeks ago we didn't have any. I know we have 2 couches in the building right now, but that's it, and we serve 5 families a week. Seeing the building is definitely the best way to get people on board with the mission.
And so whenever it comes to, like, I guess those key items, what are the big things you're looking for? You said couches and dining tables.
Couches and dining tables and beds are the biggest ones. Now, we are very, very picky about used mattresses. We do not want anything with any stains. We don't want anything with any tears, and we don't accept king-sized beds at all. The majority of our clients are in very small apartments, very small homes. So king-size just doesn't work. We will turn away mattresses that are not up to our standards. And because of that, we do have money in our budget to purchase new mattresses, because beds are our most requested item, period. Beds, that's the big one. Twin, full, and queen are the big ones, including frames and box springs.
Okay.
But dining tables and couches are 2 of the bigger things, because they're so multi-purpose. Like the dining table I fold laundry on it, I eat on it, I will work on it. Kids doing homework at the dining room tables. And sofas, just like I think about how much time I spend on my sofa, especially on the weekends, you know, after a long day at work. Those are 2 of the biggest things. But we run low constantly on end tables, nightstands, and dressers. Dressers are another big one. Most people aren't getting rid of a dresser until it's falling apart. Which is kind of the downside. We do sometimes get things that are beyond our abilities to repair. We will try, though. We try. But we don't want to pass anything to clients that isn't going to be helpful to them in their journey. So we will turn away furniture that we think is not up to par.
And so stuff for kids like cribs or things like that?
So things like cribs and car seats and high chairs, We are hesitant to accept as donations, even though we do get some requests for them, because they get recalled. If a small piece breaks, they're not safe anymore. And myself and my staff don't have the knowledge to verify that these items are safe anymore. And we wouldn't want to cause any harm giving a crib that isn't safe to a young child, or a high chair that is going to topple at the first movement. So things like that we kind of leave up to agencies that's closer to their exact mission. For example, Gabriel's Closet at Catholic Charities. They specifically provide items for children under the age of 4. So if our clients are requesting things like cribs or high chairs, we will kind of refer them to them, or their case managers will let them know to reach out to Catholic Charities over there. But yeah, really any other type of furniture. Children's furniture, like small scale furniture, love it.
Okay.
It's the cribs and high chairs that we're kind of hesitant about. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Like small beds or small nightstands. We got the cutest dresser donated a couple months ago that was like multi-color pastels, and it had arms, so that it looked like it was like from Beauty and the Beast. Giving that out was so much fun. The little girl came with her parents to pick up the furniture, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, is that for me?" And it's just like in that moment your heart melts. That we love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Super fun. Or somebody painted a Batman dresser, and we tried to give it out for a while. We were asking our case managers, like, "Hey, do you have a client whose kids love Batman or something?" Eventually we ended up painting it so that we could use it, because we were so low on dressers. But kids stuff, they just get so much more excited than their parents, because obviously these parents are in stressful situations, and they're holding down the fort and working super hard to make sure that their kids have what they need. So they're stressed, and they're thinking about the utility of the items that they're getting, where the kids are like, "That is so cool." So it's exciting to pass those items off to families. We do serve a lot of single people as well, but the kids stick in your memory a little bit more.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like you see a kid get a dresser, and they're like, or the parents think it's got 3 drawers, we could use more, and the kid says, "Yeah, but it's got arms, so that's cool."
Exactly. Yeah, multi-purpose furniture too. Microwave carts, storage, bookshelves. Those are things that we do get more often than the major items like sofas and dining tables, but we need them more often because, again, a lot of the apartment buildings that we're serving are very, very small. I remember a site visit we went on. This client barely had a kitchen. I don't even know how it was legal, but the only sink in the apartment was in the bathroom. That's where she was doing her dishes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there was no counter space. There was no oven. She had a hot plate. And she had a microwave on the one little bit of counter space that she had, and that was it. I was like, oh my gosh. So we got her as much storage as we could, a microwave cart and wire shelves and stuff like that. It's wild sometimes how tiny some of these apartments are, like the studios and stuff like that. So multi-purpose storage pieces are always highly appreciated.
That's great. And so I'm assuming you're going to say volunteers, but what can First Methodist do to continue to help the Renesting Project?
Continue talking about us,
okay.
Honestly. Mention us to people that you know. If you're hearing this podcast and you know someone that is moving or getting new furniture or something like that, let them know about us. So we always need furniture. We always need volunteers, and word of mouth is the best and cheapest way to market. As a nonprofit, our marketing budget is like $600 a year, and that's nothing. So yeah, word of mouth, telling people about us. That's the easiest and best way. Sharing our social media posts to support us, honestly. Yeah. If you don't have furniture to give, if you don't have time to give, if you don't have money to give, just talking about us is the best way.
Okay. And so when people talk about you, what should they say?
They should say, "Hey, do you know what a furniture bank is?" And when people look at you like, "No, I've never heard that," be like, "Well, it's just like a food bank, but they want your furniture and your household items." And then let them know where to bring it, when to bring it,
Yeah.
and what we do with it. The majority of items that come into our warehouse do go directly to our clients at no cost to them. Occasionally, when we get things that we can't use, we'll pass them to other organizations that can use them, like the Fuller Center. Sometimes when we get linens with stains or tears, we'll pass it to an animal shelter. If we get hardware or tools or things like that that we can't use, we'll pass it to the Fuller Center surplus store. We work with the YWCA's thrift store, Fab Finds. A little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
Kind of spreading the wealth when we get things that we can't use. Or we do auction it off. So we have a monthly online auction called the pop-up auction. And when we get things that we think would serve us better as cash or that we can't use for our clients, that auction brings in about $1,000 a month, and that money helps us pay our warehouse rent. It helps us purchase mattresses and bed frames. And it's also super fun. Super fun.
Does somebody do the actual auctioneer voice?
No, that's not a skill that's not a skill that I have, unfortunately. If you do have that skill, please, we'll film some TikToks, right? With my warehouse coordinator's help. But it is an online auction. You do it on your phone, you pay on your phone, and you come pick up the item from our warehouse. When we have new winners, we always offer them a tour. So if you've never been, just stop by anytime we're open, and I'm more than happy to give you a tour of our building. Like I've mentioned, it's the best way to kind of get the message across, honestly. But so participating in our fundraisers is a super fun way to support us. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to mention. But yeah, we do a little bit of everything. So if you've got stuff you're not using and you're not sure that we can use it, just give us a call.
Okay. And your phone number?
Our phone number, 318-747-5520.
Okay. That's the Renesting.
If we don't answer, please leave a voicemail. We will call you back.
Okay. Nice. Well, Emily, it's been great talking with you.
Thank you so much.
And guys, we will see y'all next time.